This is Season 7, Episode 135 on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicciarelli.
Hey, good morning.
Well, hello once again and welcome to episode 135 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. Tim Cicciarelli here, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe and avoiding all of the bad weather we have coming across our country today. Hopefully this episode will keep you entertained while you're out there navigating that crazy weather, and will keep you informed as to what's happening at Stevens, including the welcoming of a brand new person in our safety department. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up. We're going to spotlight one of our drivers. We're going to pull some audio from a video you can find on the Stevens Transport YouTube channel, and our driver spotlight around the corner. We're also going to tip our cap in appreciation for a job well done to someone whose job is to help you save and make as much money as possible. Hopefully there's a little hint as to who we're going to be tipping our cap to a little bit later in this episode. But right now, we are going to give you some information on one of the amazing services Stevens Transport offers to our contracted drivers. We are going to be speaking with someone whose job is to ensure your success as a contracted driver for Stevens. Let's welcome in Anissa Willey to our Stevens Roundtable. It's our Stevens Roundtable. This segment gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what's happening behind the curtain at Stevens Transport and other departments. And this segment in particular is designed to help you be more lucrative at Stevens Transport, whether you're a company driver or, in this case, an independent contracted driver, meaning you have your own business, you could build your own fleet. And the guest that we have right now, I'll never forget the first time we had a chance to meet, because when you told me what you do, and we're talking to Anissa Willey, our contracted driver's business advisor, I'm like, wait a minute, Stevens does that? Yeah. They offer a business advisor like you? Welcome to the podcast and good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
A business advisor. So Stevens Transport, like I mentioned a second ago, you can go down the route of being a company driver, W-2 employee, or you can be your own business owner.
Right.
And that's where you come in. You help them be successful. You teach them how to be business owners. I mean, how many drivers are like, yeah, I've run several businesses before? Not many, I'm guessing.
There are some, but this is a whole different business. Some people have, had different types of stores or, just been in different areas. So it's a learning curve.
I would imagine those types of new drivers they're entrepreneurs anyway. Mm-hmm. They've had other businesses. They get it. But how wonderful that the resources are provided to them through Stevens, through somebody like you. So before we go into some of the new initiatives that we want to talk about, tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you help our independent contracted drivers start off on the right path, no pun intended.
Yeah, well, we always do a welcome call to kind of walk through the entirety of their business and all of the high points, including, hey, this is how your miles will affect you, how your fuel will affect you, things like that. But throughout, we do follow-up calls and touch base with them on their business and say, hey, this is how it's going. Here's recommendations we can provide. So we're really just directing them on the paths to take to be successful in their business. Several of us have been here for years, so we've seen the ups and downs, and we can really give you tips on what to do and how to make your business successful.
And learn from those experiences from others, the ups and downs. I'm sure that helps you as an advisor with the probably thousands of drivers that you've had a chance to help over the years. How many years have you been here, Stevens Transport?
It'll be 5 in June.
Oh, coming up on 5 here in 2025.
Yes. Yeah, easy to keep track of.
That really is. Yeah, my son was born in the year 2000, so I always know what age he is forever.
There you go. Very easy.
That makes it simple. No, we did not actually, but we're sure glad he happened. So, Anissa, so here in 2025, we have some new initiatives. Talk a little bit about the introduction to the new 2 and 4 month calls with our independent contracted drivers.
Yeah, so we reach out to them at their 2nd and 4th month, really to, again, go over the high points and let them know how they really are doing now that they've been on their own for a little bit.
And how they are doing. You have access to the books, so you can go, okay, here's where you're thriving, here's where you're not thriving. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So predominantly, we are talking about here's where your mileage is looking at the time, and here's where your fuel is, because those are the biggest factors that are going to affect your business. We reach out and talk about what your MPGs are looking like. Generally, we don't want to see anything below a 7.5. The higher, the better. So that's kind of what we're gauging. And if we do see concerns about that, we start diving into, is this a truck issue? Is this a budgeting issue? Are we having heavy loads? Are you idling a lot? We can go through several different things to try and figure out what the source of the issue is and try and correct that.
I love that it's so industry specific. And you might be thinking, well, of course it is, Tim. It's a transportation company, but some other company could just throw a business advisor in there just to look at the books alone, but not exactly how on a granular level that their decisions are affecting their bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you have to know a lot about trucking to do that, don't you?
Yeah, and it comes with time. You know, when everybody first starts, it's a little bit of a mystery and you kind of have a blueprint, but really the longer you're in it, the more it comes together and the more you understand it. And we just tell people to give yourself time and grace and it will come. We have plenty of resources. A lot of independent contractors are willing to help as well. So reach out to those resources like us and, people who've been here with a little bit more tenure.
So with the 2 and 4 month calls, are these mandatory if somebody decides to become an independent contracted driver through Stevens, or is it something that somebody can pick and choose? I mean, we obviously would say this is something you really need to do, but is it something that's mandatory as part of their contract?
No, it's not mandatory. It's just something that the business advisors have implemented. We just saw that it would be helpful for people who maybe they don't call in. They feel like they have it under control, or people who, they're kind of silent sufferers and maybe they don't want to present a problem.
Don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be that. Yeah. Let us know if there's something and we can try and help you with it. We want to see your business successful. So we've implemented those. You don't have to call in to get those done. We will reach out to you and just make sure everybody has the same opportunity.
How long do these 2 and 4 month calls take? So if somebody wants to budget the time, and how do they prepare for these calls? Do you have immediate access to the books, or do they have to send it to you? How does all that work?
No, so it's something that we come prepared to the meeting. We're going to already have your numbers pulled up. We're going to already have seen what things may not be going right and that we want to talk about. So really, they don't have to be prepared at all. We will just give them a call. We'll take maybe 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes it can be longer if they have a lot of questions.
That's really quick, actually. I think.
Yeah, it's nothing too in-depth or scary. It's just very much of like, we're just touching base on your business and letting you know what's going on from what we can see, so that you know what's going on and have the same information that we have. So
these 2 and 4 month calls, is there a cost to our independent contracted drivers since they're their own business, or is this part of the deal that's been made with them?
Yeah, absolutely free. No additional charge.
Why would you not do it, folks? Don't be a silent sufferer.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Especially at the beginning, because trajectory is a big thing when you're in business. I mean, the longer you go down a road making mistakes, the harder it is to get back on the right track financially as well, too.
Right.
So what about a maintenance account? We know that, everything's more expensive nowadays, including maintenance, of course, right? So you're an independent contractor. You got to pay for this stuff yourself. You're not a company driver. Tell us about this maintenance account that you help them manage.
Well, contractually, when you get into a truck, depending on the age of the truck, the miles of the truck, it's going to have a set maintenance account contribution, typically between 5.5 cents to 6.5 cents. We did do a report recently, just talking about all of the different costs of labor and different costs of parts. We did recently do some research on general cost of maintenance, parts and labor, things of that nature, and where it really is at in our economy right now. So we are making a suggestion to increase that contribution from 8 to 10 cents. Now, this is voluntary. It's not required, but it does help you out in the long run. You never know when a tire might pop or just any kind of damage that could happen. So, maybe you don't have to use that, but we'd rather you be more prepared than less prepared.
It's not like you lose the money. It's right. In your account.
Absolutely. And at the end of the lease, if you don't use it, that money can come back to you. Otherwise, it can go into the next truck if you do decide to sign on to a new lease, which we hope you do.
So, yeah, of course. And so the pushback they might have would be like, oh, I don't know that I can afford that right now. But you really can't afford not to do this because it's going to bite you somewhere down the road because there is going to be maintenance.
Exactly.
Stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
And so how wonderful that someone like you is looking out for them saying, hey, by the way, you might want to add more money to this because of what's going on in the economy and the cost of everything. Again, you make it so turnkey to be a business owner here at Stevens Transport. It really blows my mind. And I wish there was someone like that for me when I started my business almost 20 years ago. So listen, if you're on the other side of those speakers and you're thinking, do I want to be a company driver? You're doing your research. Do I want to start my own business? They make it very, very easy for you to start your own business here, including the wisdom from Anissa Willey, our contracted drivers business advisor. Really great new initiatives here in 2025. And thanks so much for taking time to be with us. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too.
Okay, shifting gears now. I know at the time of this recording, which is the third week in February 2025, and the weather is crazy. So please be safe out there. And speaking of safety, Stevens Transport is very proud to announce Carrie Jameson has joined our executive leadership team serving as Vice President of Safety. Carrie has over 2 decades of safety leadership experience and leads by encompassing company culture and safety-first values. He has demonstrated success in safety by establishing compelling safety goals and executionable plans for achievement. So again, welcome to the team, Carrie Jameson, and looking forward to have Carrie on an upcoming episode. Coming up right around the corner, we are going to spotlight one of our drivers pulling some audio from a video you can find in the Stevens Transport YouTube channel, and we're going to tip that big 10-gallon Stevens cap in appreciation for a job well done to one of our runner-up Employees of the Year from 2024. That's right around the corner on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when 2 drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off-duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With 2 drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With 2 drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, It will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicciarelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and thanks so much for letting me sit shotgun with you today. Hey, listen, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, download, or follow this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. This podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Amazon Music, you name it. If it's a podcast platform, the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast is there. Please hit that follow, subscribe, and download button. It will help us to continue to bring you all the information you need to know what's going on at Stevens Transport. And for those of you who might be looking for a new career in transportation, and we hope this podcast will help you become familiar with the culture at Stevens, because we would love to have you become a part of our team. Well, it's time now to shine the light on someone we are already proud to have as a part of our team. It's an independent contractor driver who shares his journey to finding a home with Stevens Transport. This driver discusses the valuable business insights he's gained, along with the personal goals like home ownership and saving for his children. This is the story of Stevens driver, Michael Preston.
I'm Michael Preston. I'm a truck driver for Stevens Transport. At this moment, I'm an independent contractor trying to get to the company side. I did 4 years as a contractor. I think I found a home with Steven. They even put me through a business class here, and that definitely helped me to learn business, definitely with the contract, because you gotta budget, save, put up, So it helped me and so much. They got different avenues here that you could work, and it helped me so much. So all my friends I came here from Miami with, they went to other adventures. I'm still here. I really have no goals as far as driving, but in a career, yes, I have some goals I want to achieve, like owning a home and putting money away from my kids, stuff like that. That's goals for me. Cooking, I love to cook. Me and my wife, we love to cook. Have cook-offs in the house. Believe it or not, I like Chef Ramsay. I binge watch his show. So cooking, video games, boxing, watching football. I don't like the Cowboys. So, ass. So, yeah, those like the basic hobby. Oh, I love to read books too. I know it don't look like it. I love to read books. Put the phone down. Leave the women home. They'll be there when you get back, bro. Focus on your job. Focus on the safety. Focus on everything they teach. It's going to help. The way I was taught in school is the way that I work now. That's why I don't have no problems. I never, not to brag, I don't have no accidents. You see, I don't have no accidents, no major, thank God for that. Just focus on your job, man.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing your story. That is audio you can find from a video on our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. We will have a link to that video in the episode notes. Time now to tip that big 10-gallon Stevens cap in appreciation for a job well done, to shine the light on people who really go above and beyond. And in 2024, as always, Stevens Transport handed out some awards. Well, how about we spend a little time with our Employee of the Year runner-up, Mr. Money Mike Mistachin. Money Mike, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back.
Always good to have you on the podcast. I mean, you're a great personality, but a lot of information, valuable information that our drivers need. But first and foremost, let's talk about you and what that was like to get that award. That must have felt really good.
Well, it felt really good, and it was a really huge shock. I mean, I knew I was doing pretty good for the year, and getting the support from the drivers and how they're retaining the things that we're going over in the classes and everything. And the things that I worked on throughout the year just kind of helped boosted me into that. But
let me interrupt you for a second, because I find what you just said very interesting. I knew I was doing pretty good. Yeah. How do you measure that? Self-measurement, so to have expectations of yourself, not just what Stevens has for you.
Well, the way that I was measuring myself for the year and how I knew I was doing so well is because I constantly monitor the truck's performance. How are we doing on MPGs? And I kept seeing just report after report, we were just having these slight increases in that performance. And it just kind of led me, it's like, yeah, these drivers, they're getting it. This is exciting. And it kind of goes to, and I'm going to kind of sidestep a little bit here, because when it comes to fuel, every driver knows when you're fueling, you're on duty. So if you're on duty, you're running down the clock, and that clock is so important to driving, and so many things can be achieved when you're driving.
It's like a pit stop, really.
Yeah, and it's like minimize the fuel stops to increase your drive time.
Yeah, and that's part of the planning, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I just kept seeing that increase. And like I said, I couldn't have done it without the driver's help, because really they're out there dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. And to see that increase in fuel performance, that's
the answer I was fishing for. It's real data, not just, I think I'm doing pretty good this year. Yeah. But no, looking at the numbers and seeing high performance.
High performance, that's what it's about for everybody.
Yeah.
Drivers up to corporate, the president of the company.
All right. And speaking of the president of the company, was there, did he hand you the award as well, too, when you got this?
I wasn't there. It was my daughter. She was graduating from college that same night.
Oh, well, I mean, if you had an excuse, come on now.
That was a really good one. But and my phone started blowing up as soon as it announced, everybody on Facebook and Messenger. And it's just like, you just got, I'm like, what? I mean, I was shocked. I mean, like I said, I knew I was doing pretty decent.
Yeah.
But just to have that announcement, it felt good.
I don't care who you are. It feels great and validating to know that the people you work for are saying, hey, good job.
Yeah.
More than just the verbal, which is important, but to win an award like that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, we'll see what we do here in 2025 now. Bar has been set pretty high. Well, Mike, we're going to have you back another time, because we do need to talk about really how you got to those great numbers and what our projections are for 2025 and how you are going to raise that bar. But we just want to invite you in for a minute and say congratulations.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's been fun.
All right, let's pump the brakes in episode 135 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. Please remember to follow, subscribe, like, download, and share this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Audible, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We are everywhere. And we would certainly appreciate it if you were to share this with someone else inside the industry so they too can learn about how awesome it is to work at Stevens Transport. My name is Tim Cicciarelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim, and until next time, please be safe out there. And thank you so much for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.